Welcome back to Half A Hot Rods. This week we're going to take the rusty, crusty Firewall on the 5797 truck and finally make it look good. Here we go. Okay, it's been a little bit since we last saw you, but we've continued on the 57 Chevy pickup, the 57 body on a 97 chassis, and since I last saw you, I've done about between 5 and 6 hours of grinding, welding, grinding, welding, grinding. I'm a much better grinder than I am a welder. But Mudflap and I have been out here working on it, and what you see before you is the results of that process. We're not done quite with the Firewall. This spot here needs a little more love. But most of it, other than a little more paint prep, I'm going to leave a couple of these small round holes for wires. But most of the rest of the Firewall is as ready as it's going to get. We got them all pretty well sealed up. I'm real happy with that one after all the trouble it gave me. But we're going to work on seam sealing and getting that primed and painted today, or just painted. I don't know which way it's going to go. I'll have to look at what paint I've got. Some of those have primer in them. And then, yeah, we'll see how far we get with that. Mudflap has had a development. Mudflap. Remember before he had these cute little, they call them pricked ears, and now he's developed full-blown sails. Mudflap. Look! He's found a leaf. We got to keep him out of the wind now because I'm afraid it'll carry him away. He'll be like the flying nun. Huh, look at those ears. Okay. So, let's get to work cleaning up the rest of this, getting it ready for seam sealer. And I did get the seam sealer in as expected, so get it cleaned up, ready for that, and then according to the seam sealer instructions, I can paint 30 minutes after that dries. So we might just make some progress and have something at least looking different today. Might not actually be better, but it'll look better. So I think what we need to do is just scuff everything, scuff and clean, and then basically we'll paint prep everything here. I really need to address that. I'm going to try and unmess this up. I'll fix it. Yeah, and then we'll do scuff, clean, and then we'll do seam seal and paint, because once the cleaning is done, then we should be ready for seam seal. So, we're just going to do a whole bunch of moving stuff around and getting things away from the Firewall so we've got room to get in there. Honestly, it's really, you should pull the engine out and get everything good on the cab. I'm not doing that. I'm going to scuff the back of here and fog it down in there the best I can, and that's going to be good enough. It's already got paint on it down there. Mostly we're just trying to keep this all from rusting. So, yeah. And just kind of clean up the transition between the two cabs. Now, my plan is we're going to keep, like, from here up as much as we can, and whatever's going to be exposed, all still going to be the old, patina. Like this. Nature took 57 years to make it that way, so I'm not going to undo it. Not right away, anyway. So, we just got a whole bunch of cleaning, a whole bunch of scuffing, a whole bunch of sanding to do, and I'm not going to make you watch all that or make me edit all that. So you guys just chill for a minute, and I'll be back, and we'll hopefully have this thing ready to rock and roll. Well, I didn't have the right wrench for this old antique grinder that's probably older than me, and I haven't used one of these grinding wheel grinder wrenches in a long time, so we just modified this one to fit it. And it's too narrow of a space for a regular wrench to fit and fit the wrench to take the nut loose. So hopefully this will work. Worked better if I didn't throw it on the ground. This old one doesn't have a little button to push like the new ones, but I'm running out of choices for different abrasives to use. I'm out of the other wire wheels, so we got to use this guy, which I stole out of Wyatt's toolbox. All right, back to work. Come to think of it, I probably could have threaded this onto one of those. I'm an idiot. All right, you can see I've got most of that side sanded. I got everything cleaned up pretty good with a wire brush and an appropriate degreaser. Went back with the half a sheet of Scotch-Brite I had. That wasn't working very good, so now we're using some 320. Really, I just need to scuff it up so that the paint will have something to grab. 320 is plenty, but it's still smooth enough that it shouldn't leave big gouges that are visible in the paint. And all we're trying to do is basically make it not stick out, so just disappear behind the engine. Oh, so not too much more to go. We'll be able to put some seam sealer on and then some paint. I think that's about as good as we're going to be able to get that. So we're going to blow it off, spray it off again, blow it off again, then go eat some lunch, then come back and look at it with a fresh look and see if we see anything else that I want to address. I'm sure there's stuff I should, but will I want to? All right, looks like it's pretty clean. I think the brake clean's peeling a clear coat, but we're gonna let this sit for a little bit. We'll come back if we need to scuff it again to get all the brake clean off and then blow it off again. We'll do that. And hopefully we'll do some seam sealer and some paint. Be back. Mudflap, you ready for lunch? Mudflap, show the people those ears. Look at them ears. See them ears. Mudflap. Mudflap. Piggy. Piggy. Mudflap. Mudflap. Is it lunchtime? Alright, we're back after lunch. I've double checked all my scuffing, make sure everything's good, blown it off again. We're going to mask it, and then we'll do seam seal, and then we'll try and get some paint on it. Or maybe we'll seam seal it and then we'll mask it. I don't want to get into the seam sealer while it's wet, so I think we're going to mask it first. So yeah, let's do that. Alright, that's it for the paper, but I have another solution. The right thing to do would be to buy more paper before you run out. You can get it at Home Depot and it's pretty cheap and it's pretty handy to use. The other thing, which is what we're going to do, is I've got this roll of trash bags that are really not good quality for trash bags, but they should work for masking plastic. You can buy masking plastic for painting, so why wouldn't this work? Let's see. Mudflap, are you stuck again? Don't get me wrong, I would never suggest you should use good trash bags. We got these ones because they were cheap, and they're cheap because they're terrible. So they weren't good enough for the house. The wife says, hey, use them in the garage. Well, I don't know about your garage. My garage tends to have heavier and nastier stuff than the stuff in the house. So that didn't really work out. Alright, let's figure out this seam sealer. Alright, well, the instructions say make sure everything's clean-ish and that it's warm-ish. And we've accomplished both of those. And it says it cut the tip with the desired size bead, which, I don't know, probably big-ish. Let's see what happens. I feel like if I start cleaning off the edges, it's going to make a bigger mess. I think that smoothed out looks a little better than just globbed on there. Yeah, I'm happier with that smoothed out. I don't know if that's what you're supposed to do. I really need to do across that top, but I already taped it. I'm not sure how that's going to work out.
That's called foreshadowing.
If I had to guess the answer, I'd say not very good. Sometimes you hardly got to squeeze it at all, and then other times, man, it takes 2 men and a boy. I don't know. Alright, I set a timer for 30 minutes. We'll do some cleaning up while that's drying, and then allegedly we can paint it. We'll see. Stand by. Okay, we gave it more than a half hour. It's pretty solid. I considered going back and trying to sand it later and make it smoother, but I think I'll just make a mess of it if I try and do that, because it's liable to just fill up sandpaper and just be no good. Mudflap, she's coming back, buddy. I think he likes Chesney better than he likes me. She came and visited him and then left him. So, Ches brought me home some paint. Just this 2X high gloss black. I've used this 2X stuff for a bunch of stuff, and I really like it, and it's not super expensive. So, I guess we're going to hose it down and see what we get. Here goes nothing. Painting stuff, remember, first coat's not about coverage, it's just getting some on there for the second coat to stick to. Not about coverage, I'm reminding me too. I mean, it already looks a little better. We'll give it about 10 minutes and we'll go another coat. Okay, coat number 2, we'll start worrying a little more about coverage. Alright, that's coat number 2. That might be enough, but we're going to put 3 on it. Alright, coat number 3, I'm going to take the light with me and make sure we get coverage. Well, I think that's got it. Try not to drop your tape in the wet paint. Yeah. Oh!
You idiot!
Oh! what I thought that silicone was going to do. Or seam sealer. We're going to have to figure something out along the top there. But all of the pretty black should be under the hood. And all of the 60 years or so of patina will be outside of the hood.
I love it when a plan comes together.
And with that, the rain's coming in, so we better just leave it alone, let it dry, go get this video edited. But I'm pretty happy with the results. There's some runs. I might fix them. Probably not. Again, it's an engine bay. I'm just trying to get it not complete chaos, kind of all one color. And that seam sealer actually hid under the paint better than I expected. So we'll have to go back and address the top there, but we're going to have to do something there anyway, maybe a weather strip or something, but I don't know. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. I got about $30 in seam sealer, and I've got a whole nother tube, so I'll use that on the inside. Probably $6 in sandpaper if I didn't have it, another $15 in spray cans. But I spent a ton of time on this. I probably got 8 hours today on it, and then another 6 hours of cutting, grinding, welding since the last video you saw where I started this. So this one turned out to be a lot more work, probably because it's two different truck cabs that are, 40 years apart. That may have something to do with it. If it was, just one Firewall, I feel like I could clean that up and paint it a lot quicker. But I'm happy with that. Debating before I put the front clip back on if I go ahead and clean up the suspension and frame and get some paint on those, because then I really wouldn't have to take it off again. I'm not going to do it today. I got to let this paint cure before I start stirring up dust again. So anyway, if you like what we're doing, check out some of the other videos, see how we got it this far. Check out the videos on we got one on the Bel Air here, several other projects we've done. If you like what we're doing, please subscribe, come back for more, click like, and remember, as always, I appreciate you watching. Remember, if I can do it, you can do it. We'll see you next time.